trust me. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. Obviously, I didn't do enough to win, so I'm gonna make sure we do more than.
Call a heavy-handed fighter, but Jason, if you watch this fight, you will see a guy that's very slick, who's very confident, and this is the dynamic I think all of us did not take enough account into. Tank is from the DC-Baltimore area, as is Lamont Roach. They have sparred together, they've had amateur bouts together, and when I spoke to Lamont, when there were rumors about this bout, he told me flat out, he goes, Steve.
There's a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call.
Tension between Gervonta.Davis and Lamont Roach is reaching a boiling point as their highly anticipated rematch approaches on August 16th. What began as typical pre-fight hype has now turned deeply personal at their most recent Gervonta.Davis ignited chaos by storming the stage and shoving Roach in front of a stun of media, promoters, and security. The moment underscored just how raw and real this rivalry has become.
Sometime August, September. Are you currently in training camp right now?
I actually leave out for camp next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
How you feeling going into the rematch, champ?
Like a champ, like I'm supposed to. I've been in the gym, I've been ready. Time to ramp it up, kick it in gear, and get right to work.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question about the fight. The first fight with Tank. What did you see in that fight that helped you propel into the next fight?
Rumors have been swirling about Gervonta.Davis trying to avoid the rematch, adding fuel to an already fiery narrative. Has stepped in with his final prediction, intensifying speculation and conversation across with all eyes on this explosive showdown. The 130-pound landscape is more heated than ever. Here's everything you need to know. Their first encounter ended in controversy, but the drama that followed has been just as intense as the fight itself.
Because, he was up and he worked with other coaches, so, Yeah. But I do know how the fight will be different, the rematch.
With a different strategy.
Yeah, I can't speak on it, but yeah, it's definitely going to be different. Way different.
See, you're smiling and you're excited about it, and you can tell that that's like a coaching thing. A lot of the fans, they tend to.
Gervonta.Davis retained his WBA lightweight title via majority draw. Yet many fans and analysts argued that done enough to secure the win. The most talked about moment came in round 9. Gervonta.Davis unexpectedly took a knee. He later claimed it was due to hair grease dripping into his eyes. Gervonta.Davis wasn't buying it. To him, that moment wasn't about a physical issue, it was a glimpse into it. Exposed psychological vulnerabilities, armor that he plans to exploit in the Rematch. Gervonta.Davis controversy.
How do you think this plays out?
Davis is supposed to step up and show the level that he's on.
Right.
And I always say this about boxing. Boxing does itself a disservice by not promoting both sides. If you did a better job promoting Lamont Roach, people would have expected that fight to be what it ended up being. It was a good boxing match.
Right.
And in a lot of ways entertaining for multiple reasons, but I think if anything, we know that Lamont is on the road to Tank Davis. Now it's time for me.
But the fallout has been nearly as dramatic as the bout itself. Gervonta.Davis held on to his WBA lightweight title after the fight was ruled a majority draw. Yet many fans and analysts felt had clearly done enough to earn the victory. The defining moment came in the 9th round. Took a knee. He later attributed.
Davis, in his recent post, is trying to let the world know he's going to be a completely different fighter. And as you see here, he's posting his black Nike boots. Now, technically, we usually say when you have Nike Air Force Ones, the black ones, that means some sort of bad energy. You're going to bring it. It's a thugging thing. And he's showing the Nike boots and saying it's time. He's going underground, and Lamont Roach.
Into hair grease running into his eyes, but Roach wasn't convinced. To him, it wasn't just about physical discomfort, it was a sign of mental. That brief moment exposed something deeper, psychological. Gervonta.Davis has been relentless in keeping the pressure on the build-up to their rematch, has used every opportunity, especially through social media, to Gervonta.Davis.
Like a champ, like I'm supposed
quick question about the fight. The first fight with Tank. What did you see in that fight that can help you propel into the next fight?
I saw all I needed to see in that first fight. Trust me. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. Obviously, I didn't do enough to win, so I'm gonna make sure.
Commitment and question his readiness, according to. The ball has been court for months. He claims to have signed the contract for the immediate rematch a long time ago and has made it clear he's been waiting on Gervonta do the same. What do you mean by pushing online in response to speculation about the delay? Contract is already signed and set for the immediate rematch. The only reason we don't fight is because you're scared. His comments weren't subtle, and they sparked plenty of conversation across the boxing world. Fans, fighters, and pundits alike began to wonder Gervonta indeed hesitated.
I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a chess match. So I think Tank gonna come in. I think his footwork is a little bit better than Roach. I think his movement, stuff like that, is a little bit better. So I think, if he, get Roach out of his rhythm, kind of get him off balance, Tank gonna get him out of there. Not saying Tank can't knock him out now. Don't get it twisted now, just because he didn't knock the dude out or whatever. Don't think he can't. Like I said, I get Roach's props, man. Nothing bad to say about the guy.
Or whether negotiations behind the scenes were simply dragging out longer than expected. On Gervonta have been handled far more quietly. His team has maintained a tight grip on messaging, releasing only minimal updates and refraining from engaging in any verbal back and forths. However, the silence from Gervonta little to calm the growing buzz surrounding his mindset and motivation for someone known to speak his mind freely. His unusually reserved demeanor raised eyebrows. Gervonta
The reason why I say this fight needs to happen again because both fighters have something to prove. I just saw a tweet from Gervonta Davis saying that he was going to activate the rematch. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Would I like to see this fight happen? Yes, I would like to see this fight happen again because I think that the next fight is going to be a whole lot better. And I think the next fight is going to end with somebody on the canvas, in my opinion. But I think that Lamont Roach, I really give a shout out to Lamont Roach for putting up such an amazing performance. We've never seen anyone stand there toe-to-toe with
this, though not with words at a recent press event when Davis lost his composure and physically lashed out. During the face-off, tension stormed across the stage and shoved in front of the cameras, promoters, and security. The outburst lasted only seconds, but it sent shockwaves through the room and quickly went viral. For many, that moment was the clearest sign yet that the situation has become deeply personal. It also seemed to validate Roach's ongoing narrative that Davis is feeling the heat.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think you got some more good?
100% for that. I think he might have some more bids, but I fought the best Gervonta. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good
heat. Whether it was frustration, pressure, or simply the boiling over of months of built-up tension, that shove offered a rare and unfiltered glimpse into Davis's headspace. It was no longer just about boxing, it was about pride, legacy, and proving something to himself and the world. In contrast, Roach appeared composed even after the altercation, smiling as he walked off the stage. To his supporters, that image.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where it's not happening?
That's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't give me the win, then I have room. I definitely have room.
Image symbolized control, mental strength, and confidence. He has continued to play the role of the calm but relentless challenger, unshaken by the noise and seemingly laser-focused on redemption. With the rematch set for August 16th, the build-up has already taken on a life of its own. The personal jabs, contract drama, and now physical confrontations have all added layers to what is shaping up to be more than just a fight. It's a
didn't look so great. In the rematch, Gervonta can do a lot more better. Roach can't. Gervonta may win this
statement. Both men have something to prove, but only one will leave the ring with the last word. What began as typical pre-fight hype has now turned deeply personal at their most recent Gervonta ignited chaos by storming the stage and shoving Roach in front of a stun of media, promoters, and security. The moment underscored just how raw and real this rivalry has become.
Come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. That's what life's supposed to be about. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to win the fight. I don't know that. But Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You got to understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem that Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not going to talk about none of that till we get by Roach. Because what I'm telling you about the other stuff.
Rumors have been swirling about Gervonta trying to avoid the rematch, adding fuel to an already fiery narrative. Has stepped in with his final prediction, intensifying speculation and conversation across with all eyes on this explosive showdown. The 130-pound landscape is more heated than ever. Here's everything you need to know. Their first encounter ended in controversy, but the drama that followed has been just as intense as the fight itself.
Like the bet me that he's gonna knock me out and stuff like that. That didn't go too well for him.
Did y'all bet?
Oh, we bet and we shook him.
Okay, bet. Again,
there's a high level of mutual respect for each other. Like I said, we done bumped into each other plenty of times. Oh, more than the average boxer will see.
Gervonta retained his WBA lightweight title via majority draw. Yet many fans and analysts argued that done enough to secure the win. The most talked about moment came in round 9. Gervonta unexpectedly took a knee. He later claimed it was due to hair grease dripping into his eyes. Gervonta wasn't buying it. To him, that moment wasn't about a physical issue, it was a glimpse into it. Exposed psychological vulnerabilities, armor that he plans to exploit in the Rematch. Gervonta Davis controversy. But the fallout has been nearly as dramatic as the bout itself. Gervonta held on to his WBA